Thank you very much. Yeah, so this panel is going to be focusing on TV promotion for apps. Hey guys, nice to meet you all. Not on email, so there we go. So what I'll do is I'll let the panel kind of introduce each other, and then we'll head into a few topics that we kind of put down, and then we'll kind of open it up to the room a bit. So if you want to start, Simon?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Simon Spaull from AppLovin, a mobile marketing company, and we are one of the first, if not the first, to release an SDK into Apple TV. So we feel that move into the TV space and Apple TV and the like is going to be quite important in the future, so we focus some of our efforts there.
Morning everyone, my name's Richard Downey and I am Director of Global Business Development at an advertising agency group called The Specialist Works. We specialise in performance and acquisition marketing. I run the mobile team at The Specialist Works, but working more and more with our TV specialists in order to try and find a way to solve the puzzle of attributable and trackable TV for app campaigns.
Hey, I'm Anne. I'm French, very thick French accent. If you don't understand, just nod or I'll repeat. I've been working in the mobile industry for 5 years now, and I'm Quaid Media in Berlin, and we do media buying for app developer on TV, and we help any app developer to access TV advertising in Europe and in the US.
Hi, I'm Lele. I have quite extensive experience in mobile apps and user growth. And recently, I created with some of my co-founders SoCrowd, which is one of the first advertising platform for Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Samsung Smart TV, and all digital television in general. So yeah, very excited to be here.
Cool. All right, well, TV's actually already been kind of come up a few times today already, so it's obviously kind of a hot topic, which is great. I've done quite a lot of TV myself, and one of the big problems I always found is having the confidence that I'm really getting the value, that there's not too much wastage. So just want to kind of start with that, like how has things developed, how things evolved so that we can better understand the value that we're getting from our TV advertising? I'll just kick off with Richard.
Yeah, so interesting you say the word confidence actually, because as I go around talking to app developers and app publishers, especially ones who are obviously rooted in digital marketing and mobile marketing metrics, then confidence is a word that comes back time and time again. And the reason that there is, I suppose, such a lack of confidence about TV is the fact that the traditional TV advertising model is not set up to work for the kind of companies and the kind of brands that are in this room. You know, the whole TV model has been built on brand response rather than performance response. How's it changing? Well, as has been mentioned already today, you know, there are steps that are being taken to deliver better tracking and attribution to offline media. But also I think the way that TV is being bought is changing slowly as well. You know, there is a greater degree of flexibility than there used to be. And the key for companies for whom performance metrics are so important is to combine those two things, to have confidence in the data, but also have confidence in the buying model as well.
Cool. Anyone to follow up on that?
It's about the wastage. I understand that TV is not obvious because it has there's no tracking solution. What we've seen is that the people who are the developer interested in TV might be people who have an in-house solution that enables them to track and to evaluate the performance of TV on their own. So there are solutions for that. And TV it's not a one shot. You want to do several campaigns and you optimize between campaigns. So your first campaign might not be, there might be a bit of wastage, but in the long run, you can do a very good job. And then you've got very good retention, very strong cohort that monetize super well. And then you make you get your money back, so it works.
Anyone else on that?
I mean, targeting is obviously, or sorry, tracking is obviously a challenge, but also the inventory is changing slightly, and people may not be aware, but there's quite a lot of remnant inventory available on TV. Companies are starting out now to build out ways of programmatically buying this. I imagine in time that should help make TV buying more effective and perhaps more cost effective, helping to generate the better results in the long term.
Cool. Well, I mean, obviously, TV advertising, I mean, I come from a games background, and I think we've seen some massive players get into that Super Bowl ads, Liam Neeson in their ads and stuff like that. And it seems to me that those guys have kind of really targeted digitally all the people they can get, and then they want to expand to a much more mass and broad market. And that's been very effective for them because, you know, that's what's left for them to kind of engage with, and they're already massive. But is there targeting options for kind of smaller guys? Is there targeting options that you can use to kind of bring people in efficiently for lower level ads? And Catherine, do you want to kick off with that one?
Yeah, sure. We in the space we're in, we work with a lot of casual gaming apps, and the casual gaming's target is most of the time women who are very loyal user and good spender, and they're perfect fit with TV. There's a lot of women dedicated channel. We can make very good marketing plan focusing at women, and to get more super engaged, good spender women users, TV is a great tool.
Anyone else?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the Liam Neeson Clash of Clans example is the one that I suppose a lot of people think of when they think about using TV to drive games acquisition. But more and more, I mean, the work that we do is not just around companies who are kind of app only, but also have a web presence as well. And actually being able to attribute web response to TV, I mean, that's been possible for quite a while now. So for us, you know, and the opportunity we have, and a couple of times people have mentioned, you know, people needing to develop in-house solutions. I think the major attribution solutions are making great strides, actually doing really, really innovative things to make sure that the information that you know, the tunes and the apps flyers and of this world are putting forward can be used by companies like ourselves to then modify and to optimize the TV campaign as well. In terms of it being suitable for companies with smaller budgets, yeah, I mean, you can do targeted stuff. If you have a mobile marketing or a digital acquisition team that is going through all of the trials and tests that have been mentioned before, realistically speaking, I think that's probably the place to start. I think TV is probably for kind of phase 2, if you like. I certainly wouldn't recommend to somebody with a modest budget to go to TV straight away. For me, it is about the people who are confident that their digital and marketing acquisition channels are kind of performing almost at their peak, as a way of adding in another layer at a mass market level. TV is the time for that.
Okay. I mean, some of my experience was actually for a website-orientated thing, but this thing played across a wide range of ages, including kids. Kids' TV is actually relatively inexpensive to buy, so we kind of waited to the summer holidays and we hit the kids' TV really hard, and actually we kind of got to just above break-even based on that from doing, you know, time comparisons and stuff. So that if you're really smart and think about your targeting, it's good, and we had a good burst from it, but then, you know, we couldn't maintain it because it went off of summer holidays and it just wasn't efficient as effective as it was before. Okay, so interactivity and instant promotions and call to actions and all those sort of things with television advertising leading back to mobile, does it, you know, making it potentially more attributable, etc. Simon, want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're, you know, obviously from our side, we're not buyers of TV. I can only speak from experience of what our clients have delivered through their campaigns. And as Rich was saying, you know, obviously exhausting digital first, and then adding to that, if you have, you know, remaining budget, TV can really help boost the effects of that. When it comes to strong call to action, I mean, what we've seen, anything with a time limited offer worked extremely well. Anything, you know, any kind of offer is always very powerful. There's no reason not to run that. And again, I'm talking from performance side of things. Everything we do is about performance. So I have to park the branding. Maybe these guys can help, but the branding to one side is not our field of expertise. So everything we do is about performance. And all of the tricks that we pretty much, I'm sure everyone in this room knows from digital and from those types of activities can still be applied across TV. So yeah, it's definitely possible, but I would just look at the usual offers. And any way you can create urgency will always help create better returns.
Okay. Anyone else want to jump in?
Sure. From my experience, from my previous companies, we've done several TV campaigns, and the pain was the one you mentioned already. The one everybody here mentioned already was targeting, and it was attribution. But in terms of call to action, there was something that very few companies tried, and that really surprised me. I stopped watching traditional TV a long time ago. I think a lot of people did, but there is just mass of people that are still watching TV. They're maybe just doing just some Facebook on the side. So if you want to reach those people, you have to do TV. One powerful thing that branding knows so well is head and tail. I don't know if everybody is comfortable with head and tail. Is when you have a 15 seconds advertising and another 5 seconds, 2, 3, 4 spots after, or even after your second program. We tested a few campaigns with 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and head and tail, so 20 all in all. The price that we got on those 20 combined was much less than the 30, and the performance was better. So this is something that we definitely try. Talk to your agency. Another interesting thing about TV is that you cannot do it by yourself. I mean, you have to go to an agency because media buying is done 99.9% still by media buying. It's not done programmatically. So talk to your agency, just some very smart ones, and just try different things, try different timetables, start with small budget, and then head and tail with call to action in the second video worked really well.
Okay. So there's lots of new digital TV channels, focus satellite, all these kinds of things. You know, TV is trying to evolve to be more targetable and more, more attributable. So maybe if we just kind of dive into those kind of channels that are kind of expanding and getting built upon now. So do you want to go again?
Sure. We're talking with a lot of TV channels, a lot of media companies with apps on different TVs, like smart TVs, apps TVs like Apple TV, and so on and so forth. And they're definitely trying new things, and they're open also in trying new things in terms of advertising. Right now, if you expect to get like any kind of traffic from these devices, from smart TVs or from even digital boxes like Skyboxes here or Freebox in France, you will be sorely disappointed. There's very little. And but it's important to get there, because you will be able to get, right now, lower prices. You will be able to target with some DMPs, which is very, very gold in terms of what you can do on television. And again, talk to your media buyers. Start doing some buying. Start doing some buying on Amazon Fire TV. Start doing some buying on Apple TV, if it makes sense. That's another audience that you should target. Same problems in terms of targeting, same problems in terms of attribution, but definitely another audience that you might definitely want to try.
Okay. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah. So I mean, when you mention kind of digital channels, I think what I'd like to kind of talk about here are not necessarily the channels that are available through smart TVs, but just the wide range of channels that are available, through kind of Sky and digital subscriptions in the UK, and very much that is where, I think where the value and where the success can be for app publishers, for two main reasons actually. Number one, there's the element of low cost, which has already been mentioned. But number two, and this is a really, really important bit, really, the attribution of the data and the working out of which spot delivers better results. It's kind of only half the story. The story is, the main bit then is taking that information and doing something with it, being flexible in your approach to TV buying. Very traditional TV buying is what they call this set and forget kind of approach, whereby campaigns and plans are set 6 to 8 weeks in advance, and kind of, we all meet up at the end and see if it worked. With the element of these smaller, more flexible digital channels is, there is an element of optimizing there. There's an element of going to the sales houses and saying, actually, we want to change our plan for week 3. We want to change our plan for week 4. We want to move, X amount of budget from Saturday to Sunday or from Friday to whatever it is. Using that data and that information that, as I said, can be taken with more and more confidence from the third-party attribution partners and doing something with it. Because if you just accumulate all of this data and sit on it, then, what's the point of having it?
Yeah, totally. Anyone else there? So, audience, any questions so far? Anyone want to jump in with something? No? Anyone? All right, well, we'll keep going. I'm sure you guys will have some coming up. So we talked a little bit about maybe you need a certain scale of app to be successful with television. Is that the case? What level of success do you need to have already for TV to be effective? And actually, is it not just about the level of success you need, but actually the type of app you have. So, a game versus something like, Plan Y or Laundrette might be a very different approach because they're much more mass market, that, things that everybody could use. So, so Anne-Catherine, do you want to kick us off with that one?
Yeah, there's three elements to give a response to that point. The type of apps, obviously the type of apps you have, you've got a different demographics, and some demographic will respond much better to certain, to the TV audience, obviously. For instance, we're working with a client which targeting a bit of an older audience from like 35 plus, and TV is a great way to reach this audience, which is not like so digitalized at the moment. So a game is performing well also, but it depends where you can, if there's a lot of demand for the section between the 16, male, for instance, male between 15 to 24. So this segment for game targeting is a bit saturated. So if you've got an app, that's a different model, and that looking at a different audience, TV can be fantastic. And don't forget that on TV, you're like a way to engage with the users that needs to be very creative, and the creative is a very important part of the mix. You have to pay a lot of attention to that, and even if you're a very smart developer and you're able to do fantastic games, you can't neglect the creative and just focus on the pure performance part. So you need to find, to produce and test your creative so it works. And then finally, I think the level of maturity you need to go into TV is quite high. That is true. For us, we've seen that TV works well when you've got a featuring with Apple or Play, and that you put TV at the end to like soften the going down in the store, for instance. So I would recommend to put TV at the end of a marketing plan for a relaunch or an update or a launch, but toward the end of the marketing plan to soften the plunge back to the rankings. That works well. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice, and to kind of extend the kind of the ongoing campaign
on the long tail,
and pull out those kind of hanging users. Yeah,
don't kickstart with that, but at the end, softly, gently,
Cool. Simon, you got anything to add on this particular topic?
No, I mean, a lot of our clients in the non-gaming side, anyway. I know a number that are mobile first, similar to Laundrette, and are only running digital and then TV to support that. No other offline activity that they're running, and in every case, and they have to, again, measurement is always a bit of a challenge, so it's always control group testing. Certain states of the US, for example, in every campaign that they run, certainly on TV, it's had a big uplift on the performance of the in-app activity. So it's certainly been very relevant for these guys. Most of our clients are, in fact, probably all of our clients have apps that are in, I would say, the top 100. So working with apps outside of that, looking at TV, I probably would try to get the game economics or the app economics figured out first, get your digital marketing working effectively, going back to, again, the Laundrette talk, working through your stages, fixing everything economically before looking at TV. But that's, again, only from the experience, from performance experience side of things that we see with our clients. That doesn't include any of the brand uplift or the brand benefits. Nothing that we do works or measures that side of things. We strongly believe that everything eventually will lead down the performance route, which I know is an interesting topic at the minute, and Machine Zone's CEO very publicly announced that on stage, and if any of you guys haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend watching it. It's quite interesting, but they and we believe that everything in the future will become measurable, and therefore will have a performance element to it. So I would, going back to the question, I would probably not consider TV if you haven't got those metrics worked out, and if your app isn't kind of succeeding or in the top 100, then I would get the other channels fixed first, or working first, and then explore TV.
Well, everything being measurable make the CFOs a lot happier, so that's good.
Yeah.
Anyone else on this topic?
I suppose I'd just add that rather than just focus on TV being a viable vehicle for apps that have exhausted digital and mobile channels, we do a lot of work with companies kind of who are using TV anyway and have used TV for a long time, And you know, at the end of their ad, they have a download the app from the App Store icon and logo, but that's never actually been looked at or measured or evaluated in any way. So I'll give a live example of we work with a major sports betting company who have certain quite annoying adverts on TV with a call to action for download the app at the end of it. And we did a piece of analysis on kind of 6 months worth of TV that they had run. And it became very clear that actually app downloads or attributable app downloads, there were certain sports where it went really, really well. So football was one of them. But whenever they ran the app download ad in horse racing, it performed very, very poorly. Now, as a brand, they have to advertise in horse racing. It would be crazy if they didn't. But just from taking this one kind of piece of data, which they'd never really looked at before, they were just able to make a really small decision to run a different ad creative during horse racing, which was more kind of, you know, brand focused rather than download the app focused. So this is just a question of not necessarily using TV for people who are taking the plunge or this kind of attribution for people taking the plunge, but just looking at a bit more information and getting a bit more useful information out of that organic download data, which we can then attribute back to TV. So for a lot of companies, it's about actually improving the TV that they're already doing rather than, you know, taking that plunge for the first time.
So just as a follow-up to that, is a better approach to do lots of little tests across the, you know, this audience, this kind of advert, different types of adverts, that sort of thing, to try and, because you can't know what's going to work, right? Different markets, different approaches, different messages. Yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, within the restrictions of TV buying. Of
right,
course.
but that's a challenge of it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I mean, there are some, excuse me, there are some TV tactics that work in terms of increasing, you know, the fame of the brand builders, and then there are smaller kind of what we call kind of efficient channels, whereby we can kind of attribute downloads or in-app activity back to a specific TV spot whilst looking at all the other factors that might be going into organic uplift at the time. You know, kind of attributable and optimizable TV is not that dissimilar from digital. You know, it's test and learn, it's trying different things out, it's being flexible, being nimble, not accepting if your TV buying agency says, look, once this is locked in, that's all you can do about it. That's actually not the way it is anymore. And just applying as many of the kind of digital and mobile beliefs that you have into an offline channel, which is becoming increasingly important for digital and mobile acquisition.
Anyone else got anything to share on kind of experimentation and how to experiment, you know, the best way?
Only to measure the right things.
Right. What are the right things?
Well, I mean, in every business it changes, but probably the biggest
Yeah.
thing I come across almost on an hourly basis is people getting confused with KPIs and vanity metrics.
Right.
Probably a whole discussion and a whole event in itself, but measure meaningful things that are actually having an impact on your business and then scale those effective things. Don't focus so much on CPIs and things like that in our experience. And that's one of the challenges we always come up to, and lack of education, I would say, around the world, is people thinking they're achieving success, but don't actually know what success looks like.
Yeah, don't get tunnel vision and focus on the wrong things. Yeah, no, that can definitely be a problem. All right, anything from the floor now? Some questions? Come on, guys. All right, I'll give you another couple of minutes to think of something. Okay, so has anybody seen anything kind of targeting different countries, different results in different countries? Does different economic climates make a difference to how effective TV can be in different regions? Lily, do you
Sure.
have a...
I mean, I used to also do user growth for international wise, especially Europe and Brazil. One thing that was clear from the beginning: if your app is not already slightly known in the country, if it doesn't have the best reviews popping up at the top, if it's not even marginally a name that people have seen or heard, you will have very bad result with TV. These are people that are there. They literally see 5 or 6 advertising before then engaging with the brand. Slightly older, even when you target younger generation TVs, those programs are slowly dying. So these are people that they're used to being impressed a lot before then engaging with the brand. Call to actions are everywhere in television, So make sure that you have a presence in whatever country you're testing. Don't do it directly with TV, because again, this is like the most difficult media to target precisely in the way that you're used to. Because of course you're used to a very precise attribution with some of our friends here, and you know the performance of the KPIs and an LTV and everything, and you know exactly your buying and where your buying is ending up. With TVs, we talked about everything is a little bit more blur. Even when you talk with agency, even you work with a very good tracking partner and try to solve this problem, there is still a 30-40% effect that is branding, and you have to accept that. So again, in TV, try TV after you've done some other branding. Try TV after people have some installs. Don't forget that you have one landing page. You cannot, as in online, you cannot just pop up a landing page for your TV advertising, as seen on TV, download the app here with this. No, you have one landing page. So fix these 2 or 3 things, and then if you have the budgets, many of you have the budgets, go on and try.
Okay, anyone else on that?
Yeah. As Lily just said, TV works very well as part of the media mix, so it works well. Don't think about TV as a single channel unless you've got a perfectly that your product is perfectly matched TV as a main user acquisition channel. Do some offline, do some online, and put TV in the mix, and then TV will benefit from all the other sources you're using to get some users. So don't think about TV on its own. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. All right, why don't I ask the panel then, give us your favorite example of how TV has been used to kind of promote an app and why. So we'll start with you, Simon.
Yeah, it's harder for me because it's the client side, and it's hard for me I'm not allowed to kind of discuss too many things client side.
Right, okay.
And our angle is all from the smart TV side.
Right.
So we're obviously seeing a lot of improvement in consumption on smart TV, Apple TV. Like Lily said, it's very early days yet, so the scale is pretty much non-existent, but that's an area where we see a lot of consumption happening now, and why we've integrated into Apple TV, for example, and how we think that will be something where there'll be a lot of eyeballs and ways of it getting attention in the future. But yeah, I can't divulge client info, and I don't have that results from that side anyway, so
Okay.
pass it down.
Okay, I'll give you an example of something that we did, again, with the sports betting client that I mentioned earlier. So for us, increased visibility and attribution of TV, it's kind of exciting because it enables our clients to kind of get more information out of these organic downloads. So an example that I would give is during the piece of analysis that we did that I referred to earlier, once we were able to confidently attribute an organic download to a specific TV ad, we were then, by very kind of definition, able to decide whether that organic downloader was a football fan or a rugby fan or boxing, because we had a level of confidence that that download came as a result of a TV ad within that sport. So what we were then able to do is kind of take that IDFA data and give it back to the client and say, you had 2,000 organic downloads on Saturday. Well, we're pretty sure that these 500 are football fans. Therefore, if you want to re-engage with them through push notification, a football offer would be the thing to do, which they did, and they saw their take-up from a specific, 8-1 on Man United to beat Man City to be so much better than a generic bet 5, get £10, which they would have sent out anyway. And again, it's about that interrogation of organic data and being able to use that information not only to shape your TV buying strategy, but actually also to feed it back into everything else that you're doing. So, for the larger apps, the number of downloads that are just categorized and just lumped in as organic is quite large. Anything that can be done to kind of divide that up and get more information which can be used further down the line is extremely valuable, actually. And it just seems to be another added layer that you can get out of attributable TV.
Well, that's great. That's a really useful thing. You can actually use your incoming people to kind of inform you about those customers, and then kind of utilize that, which is pretty cool. You guys don't have to give me an example from your own personal businesses, so feel free to anything that you've liked that you've seen.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly from my business, but what I see is that there's I have the pleasure to work with apps that are both gaming but also non-gaming apps who target a bit older user of a different type of user than gamers on mobile, and TV helps. TV advertising helps these apps go mainstream and give access to mobile product and mobile apps to demographics that is not so mobilized yet. And I find that quite interesting to see how we can service new demographics, new type of people with new mobile services that weren't so impacted by mobile before, such as gamer. And I find that very, very interesting. And I've been in mobile for 5 years, and seeing this maturity now and in the market is very exciting. I don't know if it's too vague.
Okay. Lily?
Yeah, I've talked to a few companies doing TV advertising and talking with let's say those bridging technologies. There's a few of them, even big names here in London, and I think this is something that will become more and more popular, especially if Apple becomes more relaxed with their let's say microphone capture techniques or video capture techniques. There is also other companies doing this kind of bridging based on exactly what's going on in the video itself, and then there are some bridging apps that allow you to buy that item or download that app that is shown exactly at the same precise spot on television. And this is from my experience with SoCrowd. It's something that even the television channels, when they then do the switch to digital, so smart TVs and apps TVs, they actually are interested in doing it because they have smaller teams actually working on the monetization there. I'm really excited for this let's say way of bridging what's going on inside the screen to the media where you will actually interact with the company. And I think the next 3 to 6 months we'll come up with some interesting stuff, some of them for us. So yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to throw it one more time. Any hands up?
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
I actually don't have a question, but working in TV for 5-6 years and being responsible for PhotoBox and Moonpig to drive digital through TV, I thought there are a few points I can share.
Yeah, please do.
So in terms of testing, so I'm my name is Mehul. I work for TouchNote as a head of marketing, and I was brought by them from Moonpig because they knew that how wonders TV can do for a brand. Agreed, for digital natives, it is perhaps more for internally because you are not able to get the right talent. For above the line, for any digital business to make above the line work, first of all, you need the right talent to understand it because attribution is a key issue and you need somebody who have a holistic approach rather than a linear approach that this is the impression, that's the sale. That doesn't work for above the line. Testing between 30 to 50K, I feel like I'm plugging TV here. I'm speaking on TV event tomorrow though. Testing between 30 to 50K in UK, you can easily test. If you're a UK native, Ireland is the best way to test TV because the learnings are, homogeneous. Regional testing is very good. And other than if you're a laundry app or a cabbie business, Scotland, Wales, so there are regional testing you can do. The TV channels like Channel 4, Sky, other channels are really hungry for business. Top 10 advertisers of offline are all online digital businesses. So speak to them because they will directly work with you and your budget will stretch. They will give you the insights that you need. I think you touched upon creative. It's absolutely important. One of the key issues, and you see the plethora of digital ads about download the app, do this, do that, is you fail to really engage and make fun, TV fun, because still, linear TV, 90% of the TV is watched linearly. 4.5 hours on an average daily viewing for TV is going on. But you need the creative to be fun and engaging, and the downloads will follow. So yeah, and ThinkBox is a free organization. Sign up to that if you're looking to get into TV because they've got lots of material on there and engage with them. So yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Anyone else? Yes.
Thank you. I'm Charlotte from Moneybooks. I just wondered if you guys could offer any guidance on minimum spend or spend on TV as a proportion of marketing budgets.
Well, Mehul's just given his opinions on that. I mean, it really depends. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do and what other channels you have live. Like I say, for the work that we do, our clients fall into two categories. Those that have almost exhausted digital and mobile as an acquisition channel, and for them, the amounts of money they could be spending on a monthly basis could be eye-wateringly large. For example, we work with a very large kind of massively multiplayer game for whom the number of players they have globally is in the tens of millions. For them, they are seeing mobile become an increasingly expensive acquisition channel. So for them, it's almost like TV. It's almost like they have to do it. It's almost like they feel as if they're kind of running out of options, if you like. So what we can present to them is a way of talking to them in the language they understand around CPI, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to test, Mahel's just given you some really, really good advice for testing. Creative testing is obviously hugely important as well. Just make sure that you work with an agency that has a flexible approach to buying TV, because if you go with a network TV buying agency, not only will they not be too chuffed with a minimum spend, but they will also put as little work into that as they can, because that whole set and forget approach that I mentioned, there's 4 stakeholders in this process. There is the TV station, there is the agency doing the TV buying, there is the client, and then there's whatever attribution technique that you use. Of those 4, this kind of flexible approach to TV buying suits the TV station the least. They don't want people ringing up every few days saying, can I change my plan? Can I change my schedule? So go with a modest number. Ensure that you know what your KPIs are. So again, know what success looks like before you go into it. And please, please, please use a TV buying agency that has a level of flexibility about what they do.
Yeah, and just to follow up on something on that is, like in the gaming space, like TV still feels kind of like there's not that many games advertised on television, so it's quite disruptive, it's quite surprising. Actually gives the impression that your game or whatever is actually bigger than it potentially actually is, which gives a customer confidence to try it, give it a bit of momentum, makes it feel like it could be something that people are really getting into. So there is potential value and advantage there as well. All right, any questions to finish up?
Thanks. Hi. Some good examples there of incentivized sort of campaigns and promotional campaigns. Any sort of good examples you can give from people who've done TV advertising that's more about product and brand awareness in the app space, obviously?
Again, because we kind of pride ourselves on being able to take the data and the information that's come as a direct response of TV ads and then feed it back in. And there's always a level of brand response that goes into anything, and the halo effect that has been mentioned before. Certainly, when we start to do TV tracking and analytics for companies that have been on TV for a long while, sometimes the attributable CPI can be really quite scary. But that's because the ad doesn't just exist to drive large volumes of downloads. The ad exists to either send people to a website or to raise the profile of brand or to talk about a particular offer. It was interesting to hear earlier from the guy who was on the panel that often TV can produce the lower CPI than mobile and digital. I think that's amazing. I don't hear of those examples too often personally. For me, like I say, it's about, this has been said before, about using TV as a complementary channel and to try and measure as best you can the brand kind of halo effect that comes from it.
Cool. All right, thanks everybody. Show the appreciation for the panel, please.